Ashili utarudi.
Nanga wetu.
Kenya mama yako, Kenya ni baba yako.
Nanga wetu.
Kenya inji yako ina mapenzi mengi.
Nanga wetu.
Kenya inji yako ina amani tele.
Nanga wetu.
Kenya inji yako ina furaha tele.
Nanga wetu.
Kiitwa Mkenya wewe utaitika.
Nanga wetu.
Kiitwa Mkenya mama utaitika.
Nanga wetu.
Murithi wa Kenya mama utaitika.
Nanga wetu.
Ashili mpenzi mama utaitika.
Nanga wetu.
Kweli?
Kenya inji ya amani. Mapenzi na umoja Kenya yetu sisi twaipenda. Nanga wetu. Mapenzi na umoja Kenya yetu sisi twaipenda. Nanga wetu. Nanga wetu. Nanga wetu.
Angalia polisi naye vile anacheza.
Nanga wetu.
Ukiona polisi vile anacheza.
Nanga wetu.
Ukiona polisi mama.
Nanga wetu.
Siku ya polisi ina mapenzi mengi.
Nanga wetu.
Siku ya polisi ina furaha tele.
Nanga wetu. Hello bima.
Bima yo.
Hello bima kinanga dodo.
Akilo moja we.
Hello bima.
Bima yo.
Hello bima kinanga dodo.
Akilo moja we.
Hello bima.
Bima.
Hello bima kinanga dodo.
Wanga uchake niwe sundusia.
Wanga niwe sundusia umikanda niwe sundusia.
Wanga mwati niwe sundusia.
Wanga niwe sundusia umikanda niwe sundusia.
Wanga mwati niwe sundusia.
Wanga niwe sundusia umikanda niwe sundusia.
Lelu reko efwe niwe sundusia.
Wanga niwe sundusya mumikanda niwe sundusya Wanga
musiani we shimuli niwe sundusya
Wanga niwe sundusya mumikanda niwe sundusya Wanga
musiani wa soroti niwe
bango luwanga etenyi bango luwanga Wanga so uliro moyo wetawandeba
enimbire nyimbango luwanga etenyimbango luwanga Wanga so uliro moyo wetawareba
enimbire nyimbango luwanga etenyimbango luwanga Wanga so uliro moyo wetawandeba
niye sundusya
Wanga
Wanga mwati niwe sundusya
Wanga niwe sundusya mumikanda niwe sundusya Wanga
Wanga walureko niye sundusya
Wanga niwe sundusya mumikanda ye bwana baba maraye bana be mami ye mbwe mulaja kubibe dada bami be mami ye bwana baba maraye dada bami be mami ye mbwe mulaja kubibe nende kuliziwa mami ye bwana baba maraye mami ye mbwe mami ye bwana baba maraye mami ye mbwe mami ye bwana baba maraye dada bami be mami ye mbwe mulaja kubibe nende kuliziwa mami ye bwana baba maraye dada bami be mami ye mbwe mulaja kubibe nende kuliziwa mami ye bwana baba maraye dada kuliziwa mami ye bwana baba maraye dada bami be mami ye mbwe mulaja kubibe nende bana be mami ye bwana baba maraye
Ashley.
Yeah, Ashling. An Irish Ashling. Iceling.
Iceling.
Yes, Ashling. Yes. Yeah. So maybe she is actually the main person. We are just escorting her. So she will just tell you why she's here and what she's doing.
No, first of all, introduce everybody.
Okay.
Then we shall come back to her.
Okay, so this is Ashley. Ashley is my daughter.
Your daughter. And then you go on until you reach this gentleman who is here.
Okay, this is Michael. Michael is my brother.
Michael is your brother?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's Timothy. Timothy is my nephew.
Timothy is your nephew?
And this is Nancy. Nancy is a family friend.
Nancy.
It's nice to meet you.
Nancy.
Interested on the topic for quite a while because in school I take history. So, like for my first exam, for my first stage exam, I did do a history project on just Nabongo Mumia in general. So I looked at his life, the Wanga kingdom, and just some traditional aspects. And then now that I'm doing my final stage exam, my leaving certificate, I also still do take history. So I have decided to look into a particular aspect of Nabongo Mumia. So I'm looking at Nabongo Mumia and his collaboration with the British colonizers. So it's more detailed, so that's why I'm here. I came on site so I can meet people and talk to them in person and gather as much information as I can regarding my history project.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you met Ali.
Yes.
So were you satisfied with whatever he
Yes.
told you?
He.
If there are areas you are not sure you didn't get them right, I could rectify that.
Yes, his lecture was very helpful. He gave us the complete history, like from the very beginning, which I found very interesting. And I was very surprised that, like, the Nabongo kingdom originated from Egypt. He was saying it was started by two brothers who traveled from Egypt. That's this information he gave us, and then like he's traveled and we are here today, so that's interesting. And he also corrected and said that there's a misconception that the Wanga kingdom, it's not known as the Wanga kingdom, it's the Nabongo kingdom, which I also found interesting because loads of articles on Google would refer it as the Wanga kingdom. But I do have a few questions.
Now, first of all,
Yeah.
you say he told you it's not Wanga kingdom, it's
The
Nabongo kingdom.
Nabongo kingdom.
Nabongo is the title of the king.
What?
I didn't get him right.
He said that.
Nabongo
Mm-hmm.
it means king.
Yes.
So you cannot say king kingdom.
Yeah, that's what he was telling us.
Can you say that?
That's what he was saying. I was very surprised, but because
So
also the
Nabongo-
sign out there.
The sign out there does not say
It says Wanga kingdom.
the Nabongo kingdom. It is Wanga kingdom,
Yeah.
and the Wanga name came from the founder. It was named after the founder.
Yeah.
The founder was Nabongo Wanga. And you saw that chart there, Nabongo Wanga. Nabongo Wanga is the one who was buried here. So the beginning of Wanga Kingdom started here. That's why it's known as Wanga Kingdom. Whatever happened, the movements from Egypt, that was during the movement of the people.
Oh.
The Bantus, the Nilotes, the Aishur, all of them.
Right.
They moved towards the south, some towards the west, east,
Right.
and it's believed that most of the people, they talk about Egypt having had all these types of people. And maybe because of the River Nile, could be. Because when River Nile was feeding the Red Sea, or over there, then it means on the Mediterranean. Is it Red Sea or Mediterranean? Geography is running out now. It's Red Sea, eh? Suez Canal is on Red Sea, so it should be there. So I think people are following. where does this river come from? And it used to reach there with fish, everything. So people could follow the River Nile eating, and those who liked fish, that's why fish became very, very famous and very important meal in these areas. So others went to Cameroon, others went on to continue up to South Africa, like so many Bantus there, Congo, and so on. And others, actually, that movement spread all over Africa. And that's why the Arabs found the chance of moving into North Africa. Because people had moved out of those areas, because that was a desert. They were areas you could not cultivate. So people were moving away from there. So, the Wanga is not actually, Wanga Kingdom is not a clan kingdom. Wanga is a clan. We come from the Wanga clan. But the clan was named after Wanga, the kingdom. I mean the king, Nabongo Wanga. That's why they call it Wanga Kingdom. And it has been there for the last 30 years, that name. And the head of the Wanga Kingdom is Anabongo. Anabongo is the king in Kenya, and the only kingdom in Kenya. In Uganda,
You say 30 years?
1,000 years.
You say 30 years. 1,000 years.
Now in Uganda, we have the Buganda kingdom. That's the kingdom of the Baganda. And their king is known as a Kabaka. So it cannot be called Kabaka kingdom. It's known as Buganda kingdom. You know why we never call ours Buluya kingdom or Baluya kingdom? No, we did not do it so because by then we didn't have the name or the tribe Luya. Luya was created much later recently when they were trying to create or to identify tribes. Then they found there were so many tribes speaking the same language around this area. So Wanga was a tribe, not Nasa tribe. And Bukusu, Samia, and so on and so on. So they came together and agreed that they should form one tribe, which should be known as Luya. Luya, Baluya, which means a combination of tribes. Or Luya is a tribe. So that's why we have the Tuwanga and so on, and we are known now as sub-tribes of Luya tribe. So when you talk about Wanga Kingdom, you are not talking of this area alone, where you are. You're talking of the whole of Western region. Western region it comprises of Vihiga, Bungoma, Kakamega, where you are now, Busia. But the influence of this kingdom goes beyond that, up to Trans Nzoia, that's in Kitale. You go around there are so many Luyas, so that influence is there. So we have also Luya organizations there that sit with us. Even on our Western Region Council of Elders, we have members from Italy. That's Trans Nzoia. Now, another thing maybe where I should be corrected is about what was the restriction of this Wanga kingdom during Mumia's time. During Mumia's time, this kingdom extended. It covered even Luola. Because the chiefs from Luola were reporting, the whole castles of Luola used to go north and south of Cameroon. All of them were reporting to Mumia. So the kingdom during that time was extending right from Jinja in Uganda to Naivasha in Kenya. You know where Naivasha is? Yeah, on your way to Kisumu, you pass through Naivasha. That is, I think, the second largest town in Nakuru County, Naivasha. So you find that most of the soldiers who are serving the Mumias Kingdom came from Masai land. And you know Naivasha, when you approach Naivasha already in the Masai land. So their chief there was also reporting to Mumia to give him soldiers and so on. So that has now, because it's now cultural, by then it was administrative. Mumia was not just a cultural leader, he was an administrator, he was a king, governing, which is different from me. Me, I'm a cultural leader because the administration is with the democratic government. Ruto is the president. Even you come down here, I don't have no authority, government authority, but mine is like a consultant on cultural issues. So this is a cultural center, and the Wanga Kingdom is now a cultural institution that is there to take care of the cultural affairs of the Luhya people and beyond. Because I participate in the National Council of Elders, also in Western Regional Council of Elders. I'm the patron, and I'm a Secretary General of the Forum of Royals and Traditional Leaders in Africa. So you find that wherever I go, the cultures I get there, I keep them here. In July I was in DRC Congo, attending a cultural event there. Last year, end of October, I was in South Africa, Durban, the Zulu Kingdom. Have you heard of the Zulu Kingdom?
Yeah, I've heard of the Zulu people.
The KwaZulu.
Yeah.
Natal. That kingdom of Zelothinio died and the son was being crowned, so we were invited to go and witness that event. That's another country that you see things that are not similar to ours here. You were told how we did our coronation, isn't it? That one you grabbed.
The coronation. No, actually, I didn't get it. So maybe the king the current Nabongo who passed away might have named a successor. But when we were at the museum, the person talking to us was mentioning a ritual of piercing a bow.
Yeah,
The Commissioner Jack, I was here with Odera as well.
yeah, Odera. And also thank you for coming. Welcome.
I'll just email address here with my email.
Yeah, the Kimumi.
Wanga.
You're supposed to explain it as well.
Yes.
What's that?
This is bingo hop in Wanga. In English, it is chicken. It is considered to be the most appreciated delicacy among the Wanga community. If you are to visit someone, they have to get you a chicken. Then it's prepared in different ways. Yeah. Then here we have two different types of fish. This one we call shibabala because of its shape, and then this one is ingekate, the tilapia. Okay. Then here we have.
This is dried.
Yeah, it is dried. Here we have omrana. In Luo it is called alia. It is the traditional smoked beef. That is how beef was prepared traditionally. It is smoked and then it is later on cooked. Then here we have quails. In Luo we call them alulu. In Luya they're tisindu. Yeah. Then here we have the traditional porridge. Its flour is made from millet and then sorghum. You combine millet, sorghum and the cassavas to form a flour, and then you make it the porridge using the three ingredients. Yes, and then we have different types of vegetables. Here we have lihubi, it's the cowpeas, commonly known as kunde. We have emiro. When you're cooking, you can mix the two to make a delicacy. We have the suta, commonly known as managu.
Yeah,
we have
what benefit does it have? To our health.
To our health. The suta, it is a good source of vitamins. It strengthens our immunity, although most vegetables do. Yes.
And also, you have a stomach problem, it cools down
the pain. And then here we have the cassavas, commonly known as emioko. When they are grounded, combined with oble, they used to make the traditional ugali. It's here. We call it.
I have a question. Yes. Can I put some milk in these vegetables?
Yes, during your preparation. Depending on your preference, you can use the fermented milk or the fresh milk. So here, this is how they fermented the milk for the vegetables. They'll also ferment milk to get fat, cooking fat. Traditionally, you don't have factories. So you put your milk here and then you get some fat for preparing vegetables, and then you still get milk to put on your vegetables to add some taste, to make it palatable. Then here we have umshereha. So this is how we'll make our vegetables soft and even the meat, and also give them flavor. So this ash like is made from pods, from the beans. So when you harvest the beans, you have what is remained. They will dry it and then make ash from it.
Recycling.
Yeah, so you'll put water on the top and then you get the liquid. So this liquid is like tantalizer. Yeah, you use it to make the vegetables, except managu, use it to make the vegetables and the buds.
Like this mrenda.
Yes, like the mrenda.
And lihubi, in fact, sometimes it's hard. When you use this one, soft.
So here we have groundnuts, commonly known as sinjuku. You can use them, you can cook them, fry them, and take them with tea. But then you can also use them as an ingredient to make the lihubi. You can add it in the burger. Then these are the traditional onions. They give a nice flavor to vegetables. Yes. Then here we have different types of fruits. We have the oranges, we call them machungwa. We have the ripe bananas. Then we have the other bananas. You know the two types of bananas. There are those bananas that are prepared when they're still green, and you have those bananas that have to ripen and then we eat them when they're ripe. And then you have the pineapple called the nanas.
So you agree that you don't have all the fruits here?
Yeah, we don't have all the fruits, especially the traditional ones. The guavas, they're not in season. Most fruits are seasonal.
I'm saying you don't have them.
Yeah, we don't.
This is not all we have.
They're not
Many.
in season.
Many more.
Many more
Like
that
the
are
sugar
missing here.
cane.
I just wanted to know the difference between this brown ugali and the white ugali.
The white ugali. The white ugali is purely made from maize. But then the brown ugali, you can use a number of things like oble. You can use oble, this wimbi, and the cassava. You can mix the three and add some maize to make ugali. And it is way more nutritious than the white ugali. If you have diabetes, you cannot use the white ugali. You'll have to use this ugali. It is more nutritious than the white ugali. Yes.
And what about the groundnuts? Is it only for like fry them and eat, or there's another nutritional value?
Yeah, when you're still behind the say, you can use the groundnuts to flavor your kunde. You can ground it to make a paste, and then you can put it in your kunde. You can also use it you can also include it in your ingredients when you're making porridge, especially for babies. It is very nutritious. Yes.
Good. You don't have simsim here today?
It is not in season.
So there are a few things missing.
There are just a few
Yeah,
things
but
specific. The fruits.
basically, you can see this as what is being used around. Many are missing.
Yeah, they do.
the floor.
Brotherly or bloody brothers. Thereafter, the sons as they did so, they formulated five major clans to the Wanga kingdom by individual names. Some, we find like someone like Morona from Abamora Transi, who are found at Mitotic as you will be heading to Kakamega, will pass Mitotic past Miastown. But from the Abamas, those are found in Butel land, while Wagana formed now the royal family, those are found, called themselves Abashitete, found in Matungu. So we are here where we are. While Munafu Abamunya, those are found at Tekero, between Miastown and Umitoti. While the Abamaka, those are found in all over the land, they not allocate for themselves their own land. Thereafter, the king introduced what he called military leadership, whereby as the father dies, his powers will be taken through his firstborn son, but whoever has the quality of leadership. But before the son had to be crowned as the king, has to pass a certain rituals. Because you find when the king dies, while his body still in the palace, laid there as they arrange for his burial, the son now will be given a spear and a bow outside the palace, pierce that hole beneath his heart, and the bow should end in the palace, lie beneath the body of the father, is when that deceased king can be buried in a sitting posture with a small pot containing local beer with a second street to the mouth. That will take us duration of 20 or 30 years. Until the time he will pass a dream, and when that dream should be revealed in this land, is when he exhibits the body again to this shrine for second burial, as we condemn now the son as his own successor. From our prominent king, King Wanga, we have 13 kings to the current Sumia II, and they are as follows. We have Wanga, Mabala Musi, Chiwiran Sindala Chitechi, Necha, Usuna Wankoya, Shibundu, Mnyawan Shitawa, Mumia II. We were much emphasis on King Nabongo because he ruled all the way from Jinja, parts of Uganda, to Naivasha, parts of Kenya. And during his ruling as a king is the time when colonization has taken through the land, all of in African land. Though Arabs and Swahili people were the first guests to King Nabongo, who associated the king as a traders, as they came across, the king could give them premises passed through his land, so nobody could hurt them. In appreciation to say thank you, they were the first people who gave the king the first Kiligeria, which is in the museum. I will show you. Thereafter, this king was also appointed to undertake coronation of Edward VII, the king of England. As he reached the coastal land, he did not pursue with the journey because his friend consulted him that those whites had plotted to kill him when he would use the sea or the ship movement. But his son, who was the successor Shitawa, ensures that the government of Kenya now should only acknowledge and support the kings of this land in Wanga community, whereby the government now denies that as a request, though they acknowledge them. Mumia II is the boy who went to school, get educated. After education, he was trained like any other person as an accountant, and where he get a job in a company, where he worked until the year 2010. He retired and takes over there as his father's successor or the king of the Wangan community. Maybe if you have a question, before I proceed to the museum.
So Mumia the second is the
genealogy. They are three
Yeah,
in
the sons
genealogy.
and the...
Other ancestors.
Yeah, so I was wondering about
Morono, Mchendi,
this
Omoi,
yeah.
Wehola. We were much emphasis on the whole genealogy of this community. But now it was due to his appearing that let I show my young generation who are our brothers. Though the church is too small, because you find that when you try to trace somebody like Morono, you have to interfere with Abiakala's genealogy. And also, Mchendi is there. Wamoi, you will just also interfere with Wanga's genealogy and is the ruler of this land. Wehomba also, same thing. So we feel like we can just only charge them where and also for our legend king Nabongo. You can see him seated with his advisors. We as the Wanga custodians, we are proud of our king Nabongo because he ruled, at least he ruled the whole Kenya as a king, because this is the only community which was ruled by the king. The remaining communities were ruled under the chiefs, who were also the subject to King Nabongo. For example, the Maasai, this is Lenana Talang, the son of Olaibon, who was acting as a subject to Mumia now. And grandfather of our leader Raila, that's Odinga. He was also working as a subject. This is a guy from under Habiakala's genealogy called Amachina, who was the great advisor of King Nabongo. But we have these other pictures like here. These are some of the wives to the king. We will find this king marries 66 wives. And all of them were listening to him through the aid of their first queen, first lady. I have this picture where Mumia takes a snap with his security guards with his friend who was called Joseph Thompson. That guy, he was the first person to raise the first flag under Mumia's kingdom. Though now King Nabongo is the great father to Nabongo Shitawa and his wife. The two, you can see here this picture illustrates that Shitawa is attending second burial of King Nabongo 1971. That's the time when he was made now a king. Before that, he was a prince. The two are the parents to Mumia II with Her Majesty. I think I have met Her Majesty from time to time. And maybe someone can ask me, he's seeing a picture of Kamlish party. He was a friend to His Majesty and he attends the ceremonial called coronation. So we are moving with the artifacts.
Why do they not have any clothes?
The wives, they were not having clothes.
Yeah.
They were having clothes. Some of the clothes which they were having, those clothes were made only to cover private parts. In the ancient time, they were not able to wear clothes. It's either you wear animal skin, and those was for the needs of this land. But the wives will have the clothes which tied around the waist to cover the private parts. Some of those clothes are like covered in a shoe. So this is a jewel, which we call in our own language Ologo. This was a game which our elders used to play during their leisure time after their community duties during the day. And we have the pots here. We have something like half-cut pots. These were used, today have been improvised with their modern plates. This could be used at the same time as a hot pot and also as a plate. You can use it to take meals and you can use it to keep your own meals warm. Pots, these were used as modern have improvised with sufuria or pans to cook ugali and so other things. These were used for cooking vegetables, food. The ring, two are differently. This one was used to fetch water or firewood in the forest or river, and it was made from bananas fiber. The other one is used in the lower house to stabilize the pot, which contains local beer and is made from the grasses. Two baskets, both were used for winnowing. During the ancient time, even today, we still use them for winnowing. Though this one is being used for carrying also grains. Some of the plates were made in form of baskets. They are here. Now these ones, you'll find that our elders could now attach banana leaves before they put their own food, such like ugali. And if I turn in this other cupboard, I have the calabash. Today we have the modern cups and glasses. These were our cups, and they were totally used to take water, not porridge, nor local beer. This other quad, it was used by the Kalenjins to carry their own milk. We call it mursik. And you find in African land, you have the modern quads. So you have some of the clothes. These were the clothes as time they are. These were the ones which were used to tie around their waist. Before now, they were improvised with the modern cloth. We have some of the items or utensils which were being improvised during King Nabongo Mia as he was ruling as the king. These modern plates, fork, spoon, glass of taking water. We have kiko to take and tobacco. In order to capacity, this was the king's identity. The padlock to close now the door. And also currency have been now introduced because you find in ancient time, form of trading it was a barter trade. You give me your maize, grains, I give you my beans or cassava. But when the currency was introduced, now they started use coins in the land. Though Kenya, they have a coin which has a hole at the pit. This is the Kenyan currency as we yearn for 1,000 notes or not shillings. This is current for the whole world also. And we have types of communication, instruments which were used for communication. Today we use a cell phone, radio, television. In ancient time we said we use horn blowing. We have the skull of antelope still young. When it matures enough to give us a big horn. These two horns were used for communication. The smaller one was used for treatment, to suck blood clots in somebody's chest, and these are tools of warthog. That means that warthog and antelope and the leopard were the animals which were found in the Wanga land.
A question.
Yes?
How could someone use this to suck blood clots?
Remember, today, even today, we have this disease whereby you find your young sibling, a child, okay, when he is ill, and when you take her to hospital or when you take him to hospital, you be told that there is no disease. And you have traditional diseases, which now it will require you to go for a traditional magician, who is perfected on such diseases to heal it. So he uses such like smaller one. Kwa Kilugha tunasema kutoa kihoho kulumuha. Kulumuha. Actually,
You say kulumuha.
You know that is it means that the way you have looked at me and maybe you have bad omen with your own perfection of transmitting diseases. You have been looking for these classes for a long time with these ones. Now you ensure through your eyes you have been such like glasses and those ones in my own body. So as I develop illness, I have to go to look for a specific doctor or prophet who has that knowledge to heal such like a disease. And anciently they should use such like a smaller one. Wearing the metal which was given by the explorers, though I'm lacking the picture of his bicycle, and you have the ornaments here, we call them jewelries. These were some of the ornaments which the Arabs now were coming across with in this land. Though the king won't allow slave trade in his own kingdom. Is either you give me those ornaments, I give you my grains. And we have fighting weapons. We call them inferior weapons. You have the bow, and when you have the bow, you have the arrows here. We have the two which are sharp at both ends. Those were used for fighting. The two were used for practicing war. The other one was used to produce blood when the farmer feels like this animal, his blood, it has a lot of blood which is full of nutrients. This smaller one was used as a razor blade for circumcision. The way of grinding it was by burning on fire. I have the spear and the shield. Those were also other fighting weapons. But this community generates during the Stone Age period. Of course, we'll find they were able to make tools from stones. For example, you have the black iron ore here, which was used to make the hoes which were used for farming. And our hoes, when they were looking this way. And for them to be able to make this hoe, they burn the black iron ore with the fire so that they make the bond so weak as they heat it. We have the precious stones. These could act as a fridge. We have the modern fridge today. These were put in a pot containing water to cool the water. The bell was tied around the neck of a bull to identify somebody's head, which are looking like sickles were used for harvesting wheat in the land, and the stone was used for grinding. The picture of His Majesty Mnya II. Now we have two criteria chairs which are different and they meant different purpose. We have three-legged stool, the royal stools, and four-legged stool. The two, both are stools, but now because His Majesty is the most superior, when we are on the shrine, he sits on four-legged stool, and his council sits on three-legged stool. Drum could be played for entertainment and also passing of information in the land. I know somebody asking what about the other skull? Is for who? For the queen. At least when Uhuru was still the president of this nation, when Rashid was appointed as the first minister of this land, as minister of sport, he's the boy from this royal family. So it meant the king had to attend that ceremonial. Here he was with his cousin, Mr. Raila. Though this king, he normally being visited with other kings from outside Kenya. Like we have these other kings. This was a king from Congo, king from Zambia, king from Malawi, king from Libya, and here I have My Majesty Mnya Kabaka from Uganda. Here I have traveled to Uganda, Ugandan state under Dr. Museveni with Kabaka. Here is Mnya, the king from Congo. And when Kenya attains 50 years anniversary, Mumia went and attended with who was the president, was the late Mwai Kibaki. Though here, he takes the snap with other kings when they are in their own conference. Mostly this convocation is taken in Zambia. That's where he went. And as I said, during the second battle, this king wears leopard skin. This is his own picture. While he is wearing the royal priesthood ring, he wears a leopard skin. Have you seen? That's My Majesty. And also apart from he being the king of this land, he went and attended coronation of this gentleman under the Toro community. And here he says the snap with the Raila when we were launching or opening the cultural center. Another one, he was still the deputy president or vice president. Most of the pictures he was in Zambia. Fishing basket, this could be used for fishing. Today you have trolling, you have the sweep net, but anciently we should use fishing basket. This will be told that when the fish enters, they cannot leave, so they maintain being inside. And when I talk about the siphon, they were made from woods. These are the siphon. They have a hard part beneath them, and the way of opening that soft tissue, ancient time they could burn through fire to remove the upper backs, but the remaining they imply ghee or fats, then wrap them together in a banquet, put them in a stream. As water sweeps away, they enable the soft tissue to weaken, and you have the locust which eats that soft tissue. So they open it The only thing they will add a filter or a sieve, which will now be separating those residue with the liquid substance as they suck from far. You know, surface area to volume ratio. They suck from far and they take only the liquid substance. Similar pot, it is being used to carry those local beer. When I talk about the quartz, were the quartz. Now this one was used to ferment milk. Before they can pour their milk, fresh milk, they wash it with the warm water to kill all the germs in the quad. After that, when they pour, they dry it, and if they pour in more that milk, they will also put the quad on the sun drying to allow it to ferment. Without that, it cannot ferment. After fermenting, you find they will separate that milk with fats, and after separating, they should use this other quad. This now the milk have been separated from the ghee, and the ghee was used for cooking food. Now the milk also could be used as food in the lunch. Thereafter, I talked about the quails. Quails were being carried using this basket. This one in your own language, how can you call it?
In Luo, a basket is a kikapu.
In Luo?
Kikapu.
Kikapu. Kikapu.
I don't think that's a kikapu.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's not a she also. It's made for calling the quails. You know the quails are called aluri in Luo.
Aluri, yeah.
Yeah, and we call it isindu. It's also food. I think you'll enjoy today. She will ensure us that now she has produced that for you. And you have this pyramid with the other artifacts. These were artifacts which were donated from Egypt. This shows good relationship between Kenyan kingdom and Egyptian kingdom. And we have this symbol of royalness. This was being donated here by the king of Angola. This one now, who can move with it is the prince or princess, because His Majesty has his own symbol. Sharks were the animal found in Asian nation, and this was the first flag raised. It shows that Kenya was ruled by the Britain under the Queen. So this was the flag for the king, for the Queen in England. So the flag was implied in the Bongo Kingdom.
So this was the first flag?
This was the first flag. Mats, which were being used as chairs or beds. These were the mats. Mikeka. Kifungua ni kubwa, hizo sitafungua. Kama ni kufungulie, these are the mats. So when I talk about the hot pot, when I take that half-cut pot, we call it shikai. When I put there my food, I come and put here, I cover it this way. That food will maintain its temperature. So the two were used as a hot pot in the land. We have cooking, muiko for cooking ugali. Serving spoon, we have now improvised this with a modern serving spoon. It was used for separating food on a table. But our ancestors, I think, did not left that eat that way. I think he made some of artifacts here to illustrate more. Our ancestors could cook by the means of pots, similar smaller pots. Calabash, you have seen them for taking water. Basket for winnowing. She's now making a basket. I think now the government of Kenya have driven us back to that lively. Our great forefather, they could play a drum, used baskets winnowing, traditional way of lighting fire, to light up service, whereby you apply 2 wooden sticks, timber and a wooden stick. He's taking a local beer using a siphon. He's grinding some groundnuts using some groundnuts in a thistle using a mattock. He's now a modernized person who can read and write on his way out. When I turn at the midpoint, I have different clothes here. I know you're aware about this, which is in Ghana Zippo. And we have the greenish one. Those were the ears. We have this, the greenish one. I think now I can remove this one. This Now this is the greenish one. This was the first cloth to King Nabongomia, the first Kigeri, which was given as a present by the Arabs in the year 1883. But now, initially, our clothes was obtained from a Columbus money. This was our cloth.
What's this from? Is this from Canada?
What?
What's the animal skin? Where's the animal skin?
This animal is found mostly in Kagamega forest as you are headed to Malava. Yeah. And we have our grinding stone. It is called a Columbus monkey. Columbus monkey.
A Columbus monkey?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have a grinding stone where we used to make our own flour. This was our traditional kosher meat, whereby they could grind their grains in this format as they add. Maybe you have a question in this museum before I leave it.
How long have they stayed from the first Nabongo, or they're from present? Everything here. Especially
Everything here are from the first king Nabongo, not the current. The current is a modern scale.
so even those chains over there.
Yeah, even those chains.
Museum.
All these articles, how we get them?
Oh, what is
The
the
oldest, the oldest.
The oldest
Yeah.
item?
The oldest item here is now, if you look at you have the black iron ore, you have the spear and the shield, the arrows by the council of elders.
Council.
For the king now he has a leopard skin.
And the leopard skin, who was the first Nabongo to wear the leopard skin?
The first Nabongo also wear that. You can see the picture which was drawn.
Which Nabongo was that?
Mumia one.
Oh, it was Nabongo Munyambo.
I have Nabongo Mumia one here, I have Nabongo Mumia the second here.
So Nabongo Munyambo was the first one for that. And
So,
then
not for him to have a dream.
who had a dream?
Whoever had a dream is one of the elders in the house.
Oh,
Because we know after we bury you, your body will decay and get decomposition. After that, the only thing that can't decay is the human bones. Is whatever will get out of that grave.
And in the hut, who else is in the hut? He's buried in.
What?
Okay, so he's buried in a sitting position in
Yeah.
a hut?
Not in a pot.
No, not in a pot, in like a house, in a hut?
In a palace, in traditional.
Oh, in a palace.
Yeah, in a traditional touched house.
Oh, yeah, a traditional thatched house.
Now, when we exhume his body, is when that house also will be demarcated.
What is buried with him in the thatched house?
We prefer because those thatched houses are our own houses from the ancient time. These modern houses are now we have copied ideology from the white settlers after acquiring Christianization.
Okay, but what is buried with the Nabongo in the thatched house? Is it only the body, or are there other items that are worth
Rituals that
So, some of the rituals you will find like we have to put there a small pot which contains local beer, traditional beer, with a siphon, similar siphon, straight to the mouth. And also this king is now covered with the animal skin, mostly whichever the cow, the bull which the son appears when he was still laid in the palace, and when alive on his body, its skin, it will now be skinned to make the king's coffin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So meaning the criteria they were using to choose the bull that will be used as to get
that won't be the main criteria, because we find now the criteria was now to favor the son, so that his brothers cannot conflict him or betray him. Because if when he did so, also we believe that now the spirits of the ancestors have to accept your own ritual.
Yeah.
And when your bull will meander away, it means you are not the chosen one. Despite the fact your father had wrote appointment on you. So it will be practiced for the whole remaining sons.
Okay. I have a question. For example, in case of maybe Nabongo brothers or sons were dead and the remaining one was a sister, could the kingdom go on with the sister or it will be selected from another person?
Your question is good. It's now for the westernization, for those who are now undergoing westernization. But during ancient time, before this somebody was named a king, he could marry as many as he can, so he can miss the son. Like Umia married 66.
66 wives?
Yeah, and said for 1 or 9 sons. 4 or 5 grandsons. Whoever is the king is the great grandson.
Okay. So I wanted to ask, my main question was about the burial.
Yeah.
The way you said 20 to 30 years for the next king to come in. So how will they rule without a king for that period of time?
During that period of time, you find that mostly now the community was left in the hands of Her Majesty and the hands of the prince. Though the prince will be there, but now he was supposed to be nurtured, directives of leadership. Because you find mostly they were chosen when they were still young. So that will add, it means that now this king, before he be crowned in as a king, is now totally matured. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
And that prayer on the behalf of the community. That was done anciently. Today, sacrifice offering is now done in the church.
Okay. Also, who was he sacrificing to in the ancient times?
The ancient time was done through the hands of the king, because we find even also the community was the one who were catering for the king's livelihood by providing foods.
So did they worship a god?
Yeah.
Did the king?
No, they weren't worship a god.
What was their spiritual
from the ancestral time?
Yeah.
They believe that we had a god who is now unseen.
Yeah.
But now to make you understand,
Yeah.
you have someone who is much prominent other than you, or whom you can worship. The king can dedicate that in front of you.
Okay.
So a god, like he's offering a sacrifice, maybe in most you find that they believe in spirits, whereby the prophet can tell you that the spirit of your father is asking for the blood shed. Now you think, how could I shed the blood? Okay, they take you this goat or this bull or a sheep.
Okay.
Which they were born and or they were the years which they have lived. Because you find the prominent here was now Nabongo from Koya. Though other groups are within the land. The only thing is that during this dedication of this place, it was now hard for His Majesty to collect data. Because you find that somebody who was born in the era in 1050, that like the founder, and they started from that 1050. After him, we had somebody who was born in 11th era, 12th era, until we reached the 16th. So at least Wamkoya was put here, and also the prominent king was also put here. But Fana Wamkoya was born 1697, died 1795, which means he lived for 98 years. And Wamkoya was the father now to Shiwundu, who lived for 1 or 5 years. And he was the father now to our legend king Kabongo Mia. Mumia was born 1849 late 1949, last century. Mumia was the father to Nabongo Shitewa, who was born 1911 then 1974. Shitewa lived 63 years, despite the fact he is now the father to the current Mumia II. Question.
Do you have the grave Joseph Nabongo?
What?
Like white Nabongo?
And also in the ancient time it was used as a medicine. When you have a certain disease, probably attach you at the neck, you are supposed to burn the leaves then suck that liquid substance. Of the founder, called Nabongo Wanga. He was born 1050, died 1140. Like for him, it's not the way we have now been undergoing through other kings. He was buried here in a sitting posture, then he was left here. Unlike this surrounded area is supposed to be in a, the grave is supposed to be in a traditional touched house, similar to that one. Although now that one, the same with his own palace. But today we use it as a conference room. And you find those traditional touched houses, they have been made with poles of trees. The walls have been marked with mud, then they imply cow dung as a cement. The floor, although that one the king have improvised into the plastering. The floor is they imply the cow dung also smear the floor. They smear both the walls and the floor to make it smooth. But those houses, they do not use any nail because they do not have that ideology to hit the nail. So they use the ropes to tie them up. That's why as you will enter in the lower house, in the parliament there, you will meet there is a king post and the midpoint, which also separates the roof into two. You have the bedroom on the left hand side and the sitting room on the right hand side. Okay, the bedroom on the right hand side, sitting room on the left hand side. That means that whoever was the guest of that house was not supposed to enter in the bedroom, to remain in the sitting room. Or any daughter who had get married and was the child of that home should not enter in the bedroom. If she wants anything, she could send the younger siblings to look for it or to fetch for her. And such two indigenous trees, because as you see these two areas have been dedicated or marked well. This dedication, this soil has been heaped because we find the trees were there when the king was still living. So this means that those traditional trees have been to grow also near 1,000 years. During judgment or addressing his own community, people will gather here and there because the tree will provide the shade. Ancient time we do not have the ideology. One of us. And mostly as we enter the village, we find they have the gate and the compound is fenced with the live fence. The use of trees and other reeds. Though now their washing is put after the gate, after the corner. Even this, wherever the gate enters, are the oldest thing as smaller towns. Wherever the little gate is seen here, this is for His Majesty Mumia II, the house should be at the midpoint, facing the gate, so that when he is there with his cabinet, he can be able to access whoever is coming in as a visitor. But now, when the visitors enter in, were they supposed to pass through direct to his own house? No. We had this house of the mother to the king at the gate. The mother was here to act as a receptor. Whoever the visitor enters in should be able to access him or her, that with him or her a little before he sends the grandson to the father, to annoy the father that has this certain visitor who is willing to talk to you. And it felt like his wife. That means the house of the first wife also should be put at the position whereby she can be also be accessible to the gate to see whoever is coming. So the first wife house is on the left, facing the gate with the kitchen. Second wife on the right with the kitchen also. And this was for the son, and this for the mother. Yeah. And you'd find whichever the meeting should be held in this family was now held under the hands of the first wife. Those wives of the king could be able to nurture their mother-in-law in both ways, be it fetching firewood, water, supporting her in food stabilities. The mother was not supposed to want. And also you'll find when the king was there, he could have his own cook who could prepare the meals for him. But whichever the kind of visitors we shall enter the homestead, we should be served by the wives of the king. As they make meals, they will send those meals to us as the visitors. But we are not supposed to interfere with the king's food. Though now today, that's the parliament, where some of the elders of His Majesty gather together. Their main reason is not taking that law could be a law, is also trying to make laws or amend laws to serve the community. And also you have some crises like this year, we have the crisis like economic growth up. So we have school fees crisis. They try to share such like ideas. And you'll find also you have traditional diseases and traditional medicine. So you have traditional doctors there who can treat you other diseases. Like we be told, like if you have a toothache, today we just rush to the modern hospital to move it. But for them, they will now improvise a medicine which is traditional. Yeah.
A very serious house of old men. It is like a parliament. You see, in this house, these old men meet here daily, and the intention of meeting here is not just taking the busa. You see, they drink as they discuss various problems affecting their families, affecting their entire country. We have so many problems within ourselves. But when you have a problem and bring it in this house, we shall discuss and maybe give you a way forward. So before I go on, let me just allow you to introduce yourself, tell us where you're coming from, and then I'll welcome one of the old men. We will also welcome you. And then, as we see what to do, just introduce yourselves.
I'm a secondary student from Ireland, and I'm doing a history project on Wanga Mumia and his collaboration with the British colonizers.
Oh. What about you?
Okay, I'm Timothy Omondi. I'm in Kenya. This is my cousin, my sister. So I'm just accompanying her in doing or researching about her history projects, and also I'm learning about the culture because it's very interesting, and
I would like to know more about the culture.
Thank you.
My name is Manuel Makoha.
My name is Sam Kavan. I'm a chief whip.
Naitwa Cheso Fondera, member.
We are waiting for you. We introduce yourselves, the two members. Okay, place of the introduction. Yes, ma'am, useme jina lako.
Naitwa George Hawaya.
Yes.
Ninaitwa Livingston Umukuba kutoka Bungoma County. Ndio chairman wa discipline hapa.
Na mimi naitwa Gabriel Wamkoya. I'm the spokesman of the house. So those few remarks, our visitors, we are indigenous people of this place. So as we move ahead, I want to know who is the key speaker from your group. Nani kiongozi? Kiongozi, go ahead. So, madam, I think we shall go with our discussion. Now, as you are told, this house accommodates mature people to take this group. So, as they discuss many things. I think the organizer is going to mention them. Organizer be prepared to feed them with that history, shallow history we normally give. Are you ready, organizer?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Now, our visitors, you can see our brew is now ready. Members are taking. Now, in this house, it is not, as I've said, that it is like a parliament. You see, once you are in this house, you cannot just speak as you feel like. There's a person we call a chief whip. So you will seek a permission through the chief whip. Then after you have been permitted, you will put your point across the members. And if there is any member who wants to support that point, he will also raise up his hand and maybe support or oppose. You see, it's like a parliament. We don't just talk anyhow. Now, in this house, we have so many things. You see, we have even sitting arrangement. You see, we Africans get married to more than one wife. You know that? Yes. And if you're married to more than one wife, you sit the other side. Those who are married to one wife, they sit the other side. Simply because if you get a bad message that maybe your wife has had an accident, you simply jump out. You don't interfere with the system of the house. You see, you might break this siphon of ours, our pots. So we allow you to sit around the door so that if in case of that bad report, you jump out of the house and go. But somebody with more than one wife, we want to listen to somebody who has brought that message. Which wife has had an accident, which wife has died. You see, he will continue taking beer because he has a spare weight. You see, that's how this house operates. Now we just want you to we want to welcome you to ask so many questions that you have. As you have said, you are students. Ask questions at the end. Continue.
You are free to rotate with your questions.
If you are creative enough, look at this house, you might have something to say. Ask.
Yeah, who usually makes the beer? The beer. Who prepares the beer for the occasion?
We have members who are registered under the culture. We have registered under the license of the culture. So they have been given that chance to brew this beer. And there's something they normally go out for the culture. And whatever they have sold, it is theirs, not ours. You see, as we are taking, we also buy from them. They don't give us freely. We don't take it freely. And in fact, our king, the current king we're having, he cannot buy us beer today, daily. You see, he doesn't have that. So we buy on our own money. As you are seated there, you will see some competition going on. So we buy and we collect that finance and take to them as they see what to do with that money.
So maendeleo na kazi ya collection.
Any questions?
Yeah, he has spoken. If you have a problem, if you want to ask anything, just raise up your hand.
Yeah, very good.
I wanted to ask about...
This one is like a stove, and that one unites us together. You see, we are eating from one pot. It is a sign of unity. And the other one is only for washing these siphons. You see, before you put it here, you must wash it here as you put it here. And these ones are known as siphons. It's like a straw. Yeah, and there's a sieve here. Go ahead.
Could you tell us anything about, like, Nabonga Mumia? Could you tell us anything about that?
What?
Could you share any information you have about how, like, the British colonization affected, like, the Wanga kingdom or the Nabonga?
Maybe I make the question clearly. She's asking that...
It's a kingdom. You know, we had his enemies with the spears, but when they came with the guns, they silenced those people. So they made his kingdom more expansive. Have you understood?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excuses.
You are free. We shall give you about 10 minutes. Madam Speaker, do you have questions? I summarize and you can take another session somewhere.
Okay, so you usually have these meetings every day?
We do have it from Monday to Friday. We start sitting.
Easy. Do you have any representative in the central government, or you just end up with your own discussion meetings under the kingdom?
In the central government, we have left it for the entire country. But as freedom, our king talks with the president. He can also invite him from there to come and address. And many leaders have come here. Even the present president has already walked here. So there's freedom. Any other question? Now that madam, you know, is a lady, we normally have a taboo. Now wewe ni cousin. Come. Young man, come. Shika hapa, mtengeneze picha nzuri. Madam, can you come and touch this tree? Follow your cousin.
May I pose this question before you wipe up, Mr. Sportsman? Maybe, organizer, do you make it clearly about the tree?
The tree. We are going to summarize with that. Okay, I will summarize. To summarize. Madam Kuja. Shika here. Yeah. How old are you? Just give me. It's okay. We shall put it here. And maybe the other members can support. But I believe what we have may prove that you are fewer. I shall place here.
Do you accept other currency?
They are going to see. So, ule wa picha apige.
Do you accept other...
Wanga, so little moyo with our neighbor.
And you be Bango Luanga, and then you Bango Luanga, Wanga, so little moyo with our neighbor.
And you be Bango Luanga, and you Bango Luanga, Wanga, so little moyo with our neighbor.
And you be Bango Luanga, and then you Bango Luanga, Wanga, so little moyo with our neighbor.
Yes, Undusia,
Wanga,
Wanga, Tiake, near Sundusia.
Wanga ni Sundusia, Mumikanda, newe Sundusia, Wanga
Mwati, newe Sundusia.
Wanga newe Sundusia, Mumikanda, newe Sundusia,
Wanga Mwati, newe Sundusia.
Wanga newe Sundusia, Mumikanda, newe Sundusia,
Lelu reko efwe ni Sundusia.
Wanga newe Sundusia, Mumikanda, newe Sundusia,
Wanga niwe Kimoli, Sundusia.
Ingombe yiguri baba, 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 ingombe yiguri baba. Kibaraha, wana vitu imwiranira kibaraha, yo yo aha, wana vitu imwiranira kibaraha, wana vitu imwiranira kibaraha, yo yo aha, wana vitu imwiranira kibaraha. Wana vitu imwiranira kibaraha, Munda mula sesa. Sesa munda yivani himunda yivani himunda mula sesa munda.
To the Nabongo Umia, we were always here, we were reading the books. So old enough. Can't remember the language will suit you, but whatever I say, you catch a bit. If you don't, you ask. Therefore, I'm here to give lectures to students who need the history of the kingdom. And first of all, I'll start a brief explanation how the kingdom started. Because this kingdom, 4th century. Now, this kingdom started miraculously from two brothers who are fishermen. It happened that one day they went to fish as usual, and they never caught any fish. So when they started coming back hurriedly as how they would feed the families the same day, they fortunately met a person, a strange person whom they had not known, who greeted them and asking them why they were sad. They could explain to him what happened to them like other days. So he looked at them and then recognized their insights and told them, please, don't worry about the time, don't about the distance you come from, but please, if you don't mind, go back to where you came from, the last point you were at. Then take one of your hooks, dip in the sea. If we manage to get one fish, and that fish will be enough for you to share for the day's meal. So when they went back, they did as they were advised. In fact, one fish came out and he told them, before you pierce that fish, be careful, there's an object inside there. That object, don't lose it, don't throw it, take hold of it, care for it, keep it. Nicely they found that object. So with that object, with the use of that object, they came back happily, and whatever they decided or they wanted in that country, in that part of Egypt, they got, it happened. So they said now ignoring the regulations of the government. Because now which they get rain as usual, they plant, they harvest. So whenever the king's officials came, so the information went to the ruler of the country, and he heard of the information, and they sought those people to be taken to him. And as I said, that miraculous item or object that will be given. So please take all of your family, fly away or flee. They did that in the morning, they gathered at night, they gathered the whole family, and then they flew off and they entered Cameroon. So in Cameroon they stayed, the inceptors died from Cameroon, and then the inheritor now decided also to migrate, coming back, and then he went to Ethiopia. Ethiopia they stayed for about 2 generations, and then from there they entered Uganda, North Uganda. In Uganda they stayed for about 5 generations, until the reason later during the Kabaka Mutesa and Mutesa and Wanga. So they were the sons of Wanga II, not Wanga the first, but Wanga II. So not knowing what happened for their split or separation, Wanga and Mutesa. So Wanga was the elder and holding the regalia. Then he decided to cross River Nile. Where he crossed River Nile and landed at Samia at a place called Uganda, where he stayed, and then he gave birth to the next king, who was King Wanga III. So Wanga III took over, but because of Tetefly spreading in Samia land, killing the livestock, he decided to migrate also. This is when he moved to Maseno, at a place called Wanga. There's a place behind Maseno schools, a place called Wanga. Even if you went now and said that I'm from Mumias, they will regard me as brothers because some of the remnants are there. They are listed there twice, and I proved. They occupy almost 3 sub-locations around there. So where Mohammed III lived and gave birth about 8 sons. Who are these 8 sons? We have got Kabiakala there, we have got Sapa there, we have got Wanga there, we have got Lokola, and Wamoi, we have got Murono, we have got Mugwaya. So when Wanga started brothers like Mtene, so he decided to move away from him. He did not like to be led by Wanga. So he went southwards along the Lake Victoria. So we find with Mtende and the couriers, the current couriers now, and the Subas. So it was one son from him. Also, he moved again to Mianga, just south of Mugwama, somewhere there. So he found those people not very cooperative. The Bukudu was not very cooperative. So he decided to come back. And when he reached here, it was now old, the life had been deteriorated. Now he made a wish that please, now I cannot be, don't take me anywhere when I die, please bury me here. And on burying me here, sacrifice that everyone that will inherit the throne must also be buried here. And that's why that's then it was the inception of this place. And that was in the year 1140 AD up to now. So from then up to now, we have got about the current one is the 13th king from Wanga. So Wanga left a son called Wabala. Wabala gave birth to Wabala also died. He was killed. He was betrayed by his brother. And then he left his wife pregnant. So he gave the authority and regalia to his cousin to keep it for that was in the womb. So when the mother, the wife got gave birth, they kept a secret to the brother who betrayed him, but he may also take away the life of the son, of the child. So that was happened, and then the one who was given the grade to keep or to take care of it until what was in the womb survives and reaches the age of coronation. So kept a secret, and on realizing that the wife has given a male child, so he sought any woman who had given in that locality, any woman who had given a female child, so that they could exchange. So they exchanged the nursing. She was given a female, and then they reported to that brother that when they were inquired, they were told he has given a female child. So he got happy that he might regain the powers. And his intention also failed, because when the Wabala was still alive and having inherited, and the brother was a trader in the horse, traditional horse or implements. And the manufacturers of those people, blacksmiths, were from Samia. So he went there to collect some horse. When he came back, his brother, the king now, sent for the horse, his brother. But he said, the horse that are here are not suitable for you. Wait until I go back and collect the better ones for you as a king. Kumbe, he was going to make some arrangements to go to take this person there so that he may be killed there. So he was what he did, and he came back and said, please, my brother, our king, Samia people heard that you have been crowned and you are the new king. They are very much interested to see you as their people. So he organized the trip and having a major arrangements there that please, when these people come, you kill him so that you keep for me the regalia. So what he did, they set off the journey. Now the king took his brother and the brother himself. They went for a feast. When they reached there, they were welcomed. They were given a separate house to stay, including everything, feedings there. But they had organized for tonight, they may be killed. So, fortunately, at the discussions of killing these people, a certain woman heard that. A woman heard their discussions and waited until it was very dark, a bit dark, not to be seen. She sneaked and came and knocked to the door where the king was with his brother was. He said, please, greeted them and said, please, sleep knowing that your lives is in danger. It has been discussed that way. And they said, okay, Sema, thank you very much for telling us. So he went back and these people stayed. Now at night, the king told his brother, please, if my brother want to kill me because of this rebellion, he will not get it. Kindly, please. I cannot run away. You take this regalia, you keep it for what inside you are when lost. And now you just set off at night. So from today he set off and he said, don't follow the route that we followed. Just come as I see the bush, whatever, that so long as you reach home. So that man started at night. When he reached this way, in the morning, these people came to greet these people. They found only Governor is there. They greeted him. Now, on bringing the breakfast, they said, where's your brother? Where's your another visitor? He told them, I don't know. He has gone outside there. And you know, nowadays, those days, there were no latrines. So people, when you are a visitor, mostly, you could find a place far from where people cannot notice that you are going for such an action. So, that's what he said, no. He's gone outside. He told me that he's having a problem with depression. I don't know where he is. They waited, and when it reached about 10 not being seen, he said, the king, please, we want now to show you, you want to move you around. You see the country, you see your people, you greet your people. But they are now taking him where to demand the regalia. So they took him to another forest. They said, please, king, you know, we have got a regalia. Where is that regalia? Can you show us how it looks like? He said, I don't have a regalia. I don't work with it. I don't travel with it. I have it at home. But you had it. I said, I don't know. So they buried him there. They buried him there until they killed him. Where and how they killed him and where, we don't know. Because we have tried to look at the place or find out the grave, it is not seen. So as I said, having this person now coming here, being proud that I've already regained it, but this kingdom cannot do it. You cannot get it without getting that regalia, or without possessing that regalia or bracelet. So it's made that way until After exchanging the children and then the nursing of the babies, after attaining the age, reasonable age of 18, now the brother who was left to care for the ring or for the bracelet, now also formed the council of vendors. Now in preparation to crown the son. So when Mrono was seated at the barasa, was seated at the gathering addressing the people, he just happened to see a very large crowd of people coming, wailing, singing, raising the palms of the trees, branches of the tree, coming along towards where they were seated. So when he reached near, the son who was going to be crowned wanted to kill, to spare his uncle who betrayed and who killed his brother, his father. But people stopped him, don't kill. But those ones who are with Mrono told him to run away. It's when he ran away and he went and died somewhere where we cannot tell. Musui continued now with the leadership. So after Musui, we came now to Chupire. From Chupire, we come now to Msindalo. From Msindalo, we come now to Chitechi. From Chitechi, we come to Netia. From Netia, we come to Chitechi second. Chitechi second was also deposed because of inequalities that he proved with the elders. So they removed him and replaced him with a brother called Osundwa. So from Osundwa, we came to Omkoya. From Omkoya, we came to Shiundu. Now from Shiundu, we came to Mumia. So from Mumia, we came down to Ishtawa. From Ishtawa is the current king, who is also called Mumia II. So that's how our kingdom was accepted and picked up to the current. And this one was crowned in 2010 is when he was crowned. Although his father died very young, at around 1971, when he died. But this one, because his brothers were still there, he died young at 63, while his brothers, who were about 100 and something, and some are still energetic, some are still young also. You know, the kingdom cannot be installed when the brothers of that generation or that generation of the whole of the kingdom, of the crown, when they are still alive. So most of them have to get free. Most of them have died, so that the new generation now takes over. Because it's a generation from generation to generation. They make sure, generation makes sure that the kings now, all the kings' brothers or cousins or something like that, they are all gone. It's now when the new generation now takes over. So that's why from 71 up to 2010, and even the sons were still there, the brothers were still there, about a few. There were about 6, but we made arrangements to go and hide them somewhere in the town, Eldoret, until we finalized our functions is when we brought them back, because it's a taboo for them to smell the taste of the food that it could be being cooked in that celebrations of the inheritance. That's what we did. And also find that these people to be crowned is very ridiculous and their burials. A king is known on the day the father performs the father's rituals on the burial day, because the king might be having several sons, but only one have to be proved viable to inherit, and also the assistance of the king. That's why a body called council of elders are there to assist the king to monitor the entire family. They monitor the entire family and see what qualities each son has on what behavior, on what character, including the mother. So they may one day, when sitting, jokingly try the king, please, should you leave us unhappily? Whom do you think amongst your sons may inherit? He may say, let me give you that person. He may name the name. And with the knowledge the king, the elders has to that person, they may refuse or may accept. If instead, if for example, he is only good or only respect to the father, but outside there, his character is not good within the community or the society. The elders, because the elders come from all those areas, they will say, no, that boy you are giving us is not of good quality. Because of this and that and that and that and that and that and that and that. So they may reject. And they would ask for the second choice. And the king may insist that, oh, if that one cannot, if you cannot help that one, I have no any other person. Unless you, the elders, tell me whom you want. So, but at last they must, both of them agree. The king and the elders. They agree to whoever will inherit. So, it remains a secret. Only those ones that were present on the nomination will keep the secrecy. And when the king now dies, now preparation for the burial now starts. The heart is built. It's built at night. Next morning, the grave is dark inside that house, at the center of that house. They make everything. They touch with the grass. They mud with mud. They mud with mud, as usual. They keep the door. It's now when that boy is going to be sought where he is. Be told, please come along. The elders want to send you. Please, elders want to send you. Come, so that we may bury your father. So when the son comes, reaches at Jaffa, he said he is now being told that your father said you are the inheritor. Please sit down. He cannot be allowed to go back where he came from. Just sit down. He sits there, a doorstep there. He's given a spear there and then. A bullock is brought, a young bullock. It's brought by them. Being brought by another son of the king, but of the separate, another different house. That's why our kings are not allowed to marry only one wife, because it will be very difficult to get whoever will assist the king to perform the rituals of functions. So they instruct the horror of the cow or the bullock, because it's being tied in the neck, holding the rope. They said, please, when you see your brother, spare him. This bullock, you leave the rope. And then, on swearing, after swearing, being led by swearing, after that he's shown where to spear that animal. Only once, not twice. And then he spears that animal where he was shown. Now, if it's the right choice to become a king, the bullock have been speared. The corpse, it will come and lie where the corpse is. This is the grave. The corpse is here, but the animal will come from outside, having been speared, then he comes and lies beside the corpse. And then he dies from there. It is not slaughtered, it just died because of that spearing, comes and dies. So that man has qualified. But in case he spears and that bullock cannot enter the house, goes astray, now he is not qualified. The elders will have to sit again and discuss about among the other left sons until they will get the one who will do the same, and the bullock comes and lies there. He is the rightful owner of the inheritance. Now the skin, that is skinned off, the bullock is skinned off, the meat is thrown outside, whoever wants to eat will eat, but all of the same clan. The skin is wrapped on the king's body. That will be now a sander, I don't know how sander you may call it. That white cloth that everyone, when people die, they wrap with it. So it's wrapped with that skin only. And then he's placed in the grave, sittingly, on the sitting position. Having placed a small pot of beer under the legs, given as a siphon from the beer to the mouth. Then they start burying him up to the shoulder level, and the head will remain covered with a big pot. So, meaning that he is still reigning until he will be brought here to my tomb, the final burial. So the house is sealed, no access to any other person. So that one remains a prince until the time reaches of the execution of the remains of that king. On the special day is the coronation day, they are prepared, having prepared nicely. It's a big festival. Now is when they go, and the house might have fallen, grass might have grown there. It was now very difficult to know where the grave is or grave was. So they will see the particles of the pot is where they say that it was here, is when they start exhuming the bones, the remains of that body. So cleaning, whatever bone is found, it's cleaned, ointed with the fresh butter, and milk butter. They are placed all very nicely in banana fibers. Now there is not another cow, another bullock. They take the bones in that skin, and then the new man, the new king or the prince now carries those bones with the regalia which he has not put on the head, on the arm, until this place. So when they arrived here, the grave had never been dug at night, when the bones are now placed for final burial. After being buried is when now the new king is seated on the special seat, and a clock, special clock for the kings, including headgear, and now is placed the regalia. The kingdom is now have attained a full kingship. He is now king. Now he starts his functions as a king. I think I've just taken you as the information and how things. Yes, please.
We have a question. Was the skin being a symbol of something, or was it just a cloth?
It was just a cloth.
Just a cloth. Doesn't have any symbol.
No, it doesn't, because formerly people didn't have clothes, you see. They were just putting on pieces of skin, covering the front part. Whenever he needs it, it goes to
that brothers were hidden somewhere not to take the source of food that they were cooking. What if one could come and take that food? Was it a taboo or the food was just for specific people?
Which food?
The food. You mentioned a part of food that was just coming in. That's why hidden somewhere and the food was being cooked.
That said, yani, whenever like this generation always have some functions. Everyone at his home is the home. Okay. Yeah. So after the crowding area, everyone will go back and separate at his home. So those food, the smell of the foods cannot reach the animals. You see, when you are knows when you express everything that it comes within. So they make sure the brothers of the king, the former king, not the current one, do not have that taste of foods. Or they cannot, let me say, they cannot participate in that celebration. That's why we hide them at a further distance. So after some days, when they can come back, after the celebration is finished.
What does that regalia look like?
The regalia, it was an object in the fish, as I told you.
Yeah.
So when they are during this immigration period, they said that an object can get lost at any time, isn't it? So they came and mixed that with tin and diamond, with gold. They melted it and now made it a ring to be worn. It was an object from the fish, but now came back. They sent the technology to put it now to be worn, not just to be carried, like they can get lost at any time. So they changed it, having beautified the other chemicals, the minerals. Tin plus diamond and gold. So that ring is very miraculous because even if we are here, some of us may see it and some may not see it. If it is in place somewhere. Because Wabana, when at Samia, some had the modes of killing them. So Maasais came later to discover that it's the king who is killing them purposely. Maasais were plenty here, inside here, because they were very fierce and they've been recruited as an army of the kingdom. So, but they've become now very plenty. They have now generated a population. So they were worried how they can go back. So he started killing them so that they became anxious and then ran away. But after discovering that the king is the one who kills them, they also wanted to revenge and rebel. So one day they gathered and came, just daylight, and they stood outside the palace. And the king was with his elders. Now they demanded, please, we want the king to come out. Having spears. One of the elders went, please. They said, no, we want the king. The second person went, he said, we want the king himself. Now the elders who bravely said that, king, please, we cannot die because of you. Those people have got intention of killing you. So please go and die bravely as a king. So, not telling him that please remove the regalia, give us no. He said, okay, let me go. So with the regalia, he shot out and started running. So when he ran, the Maasai followed. So when he got tired, he could not go further. He's now tired. Now he removed the regalia and threw it without knowing where it goes. So the Maasai speared that man, they killed him. Then they started searching for that regalia. For 3 days, they did not find it, they did not get it. Until after they have despaired that no, we can no longer get it. Now that regalia sent the people to come and collect the regalia. So when people came, they found it and then they took it off. So that is a very reckless item. When the king shows you are calling him or he's angry with you. When he shows in his hand, please, you cannot leave. So that's how our kingdom is treated and how it is. Any other thing?
My last question, I was asking why were the kings buried in the city?
I said that they are still regarded as being what? Still reigning. They are still on the throne. Because he knows his brothers are still there, and that boy who will inherit may not immediately take of them, may be crowned. Paka, all those the brothers die. They know it.
So how long was the period before the other king to come in?
It depends on the number of the brothers, on the age. All the brothers left. Now, for example, I'm 77. Now, I'm even older than the king. And gave birth from there, left the child there. So they had arranged for a certain woman from Teso tribe to go and collect. Who collected the child and brought to the mother, requesting her to nurse for her the rubbish. You see, make it getting well. So that the spirits will not come and claim the rubbish, they collected the rubbish. May render for a lower level person called Kucheche or head minute may say. So that his government now was fully organized like the British. Now he did not want his people to be harassed. He did not want any crisis or crisis in development with any society. And how he managed to bring even those ones stubborn. He could even go and fight them, send the people to fight them, and then they become to the benefit of the clean society and a peaceful society.